In this video, we're going to be talking about explaining yourself, and I want to talk about whether or not you need to be concise and to the point, if that is actually an alpha male trait or not, and what should you be doing? How can you become more concise? How can you become more to the point and not explain yourself in your conversation, especially in your conversations with women, especially in regards to your actions? I'm John from BulldogMindset.com. On this channel, I teach you how to be a man. I teach you how to build financial independence, how to get the physique you want, how to get the girls that you want, and how to go from the victim mindset to what I call the bulldog mindset. If that sounds like something you're interested in, make sure you click that subscribe button. Here's what we're dealing with. I've talked about in many videos the idea that you should never complain or explain. It's actually a Benjamin Disraeli quote, but I add to that apologize. And apologize is actually so important today in the social justice warrior cancel culture. But let's talk about the explanation point, because explaining is a really interesting thing. Hey, John, are you not explaining to us right now? In some regards, I am. But remember, vocabulary is very important. The context determines the meaning of a word, and it's two different things to explain something as I'm explaining now so that you can understand a thing. And it's another thing to explain something, to explain your actions. Hey, John. Guys, learn how to spell John. John. It's pretty simple. I hope this is still the best way to ask you questions for videos. I'll keep it very brief, as that's what the question is about. Being brief, concise, and to the point is an alpha trait. Is it though, really? What I would say is that it's more about being direct, not trying to be careful to not step on toes. Now, there's some amount of diplomacy and tactfulness that's necessary to bring this to bear, but being an alpha is about not being apologetic about what you want, what you're requesting, what you're saying. My problem is that I'm over-explaining myself, overthinking, and overcomplicating things. Now, that is a problem there, okay? What can be said in few words or sentences I keep adding on to and over-explaining? First of all, it's not attractive and ruins respect, but also it gets me even more confused with what I'm saying and makes the message less impactful. And that's true, right? There's a science, there's an art and a science to this, to be able to say things and have them be impactful and to be concise in your language. But what you'll find is that you're going to be more concise and not over-explaining things when you do it in writing. Writing is really the medium for this. In general conversation, unless you have articulated a point already many times, it's going to be very difficult to be precise and concise. The best thing that you can do is what you might see me practicing in this video if we don't have too many jump cuts, which is that I pause. Right? You don't hear me say very much. You can see even in unedited footage. Sometimes I do. It depends on my mood and my consciousness of my speaking. But one tip I can give you to make you be more precise and concise is to not drone on. If you can pause, think about what you're going to say, and then say that thing, you're going to be more precise, you're going to be more concise, and you're going to sound a lot better. And it's going to sound a lot more like something that people could respect. There's a lot of there's a lot of confused speech because they're stringing things together very rapidly without knowing exactly what they're saying. And you hear a lot of in that conversation, and it does seem like they're coming from an inferior position when that happens. It's really being precise with your language, having things well thought out ahead of time when you discuss them. Being willing to slow down and pause is probably the biggest thing, because that gives you time to think. It stops you from saying and it allows you also to process what you just said. Sometimes if you're just gabbing and blabbing on, then you don't get to process it. So I'd say that. And then as far as the explaining yourself, is to make sure that you do not explain yourself for your actions. It's called justifying your actions. If you want to do something, or you say something, let it be that. You don't have to give an explanation. Don't give an explanation. Just ignore that statement if you choose. Or You can almost say the because I want to. You can just reiterate the statement one more time, exactly what you said, but you don't have to explain yourself. Or you can give a very short answer to that question that's not really an explanation. That is what's going to keep your language and your speech more concise. But more importantly than that, that is what's going to command more respect and be more of an alpha trait. And the reason behind this has nothing to do with being a macho man who eats sandwiches and nachos. It has everything to do with the idea that you are able to be in an uncomfortable situation, that it doesn't matter if someone wants an explanation for you. You don't feel like you have to give it. You don't have to get validation from them. You can sit in that uncomfortable spot and you can choose to be uncomfortable there. You don't have to make everything smooth and happy and everyone love you. You can allow someone to be upset that you're not explaining to them. That's how it is. And if you can do that in your speech, it doesn't really matter if it's concise. It will be more concise because you'll be more direct, but it will be unapologetic. And that is the key. Is being unapologetic is what you're after. If you haven't already, click that subscribe button, of course, and take the Bulldog quiz. All right, guys, that's all I got for you today. I will talk to you next time. Take care.